Hello, welcome to Monday Morning Matters live broadcast show brought to you by Magnicraft Consulting Team, anchored by Niyi Dunmade, a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the U.S. Here, each Monday of every week, we address important, relevant, and actionable topics of interest that will help you and your church grow healthier. And now, meet your host, Niyi Dunmade.
Welcome everyone. Apologies for that audio broadcast hiccup. Technology sometimes can be a bit difficult to handle. Welcome. My name is Niyi Dunmade. I'm the founder and the CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. Magnicraft Consulting is a church consulting firm that helps local churches to grow healthier through empirical assessment trainings and strategic blueprint. I want to welcome all of you to our YouTube channel, to this broadcast, also on Facebook live broadcast show. And we have been talking on uneasy signs to detect. And we have been talking about 12 of them, 12 uneasy signs to detect in a declining church. Thank you for hooking up with us on Monday Morning Matters as we look at the 12 uneasy signs to detect. 12 uneasy signs to detect in a declining church. 12 uneasy signs to detect in a declining church. I say again, my name is Niyi Dunmade. I'm the founder and the CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. And of course, our vision is to be a leading church health consultancy that creates sustainable and actionable solutions. I'm also the double certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting and Church Answers in the US. I'm also your host to every weekly Monday Facebook live broadcast show, 7 a.m. Nigerian time. I'm also the church health guide of the 21st century. A big thank you to everyone who has been liking our posts, sharing our content, telling us how timely our content is, and then sharing all the content with us that is timely, liking the post on the video, dropping comments. I've learned quite a lot from pastors who are also at the chatting up end. So please go on the YouTube channel and then let me hear from you quickly. There are 5 categories of church in terms of their growth movement and their size capacity. The category 1 has to do with subtracting churches, or churches that are in subtraction mode, okay? And churches that are in subtraction mode are in declining state. So for your church to be able to grow, you have to overcome the gravity of subtraction. So what makes your church decline is because you are losing people through the back door. Get my book on church retention, pathway to growth. So the first category, which I want to look at the signs of this category, is the churches that are in subtraction mode or in declining phase. So then we also have the category 2, which is what the plateauing mode kind of churches who are in plateauing phase. Okay, plateauing is that there's a net of what is coming into the church and what is going out of the church. So there's a state of maintenance activities in the church. So there's no growth, there's no declining, and that category is a dangerous thing because you cannot maintain a level for too long. It's either you begin to grow up or begin to decline down. So if you are maintaining for too long, it's just going to be dangerous for you, that there's a more chance that because you are not doing what it takes to grow up, you begin to decline or you slip back into subtraction mode. It is easier for churches and maintenance mode to slip back into subtraction mode, depending on the growth phase they are in the church. Then we also have churches who are in addition mode, okay, where the net of what is coming in and what is going out is adding to the church. Okay, there's a form of incremental on a weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis, and so the church is in addition mode. And then we have the fourth category, or category 4, which is a church that is in reproducing phase. Okay, where you are placing value and priority on starting new church plants in different locations or around the world. So the churches who are in reproducing phases, that's what they do. They do a lot of church planting. They do a lot of multi-site. They do a lot of extension growth, expansion growth, and things like that. And then when you begin to do more of reproducing, you begin to go into the category 5, which is multiplying mode. Okay, these are churches that take church planting to a multiple cross generational globalization kind of congregation. So you have a church that they have different cultures in different places, and those they are able to multiply themselves with the help of the gospel, with a super culture, into different kind of culture, not just one kind of culture. And so from Lifeway Research, I said that deduction, there are 70% of churches that are in that category 1, subtraction mode, or declining mode, or plateauing phase. It's only less than 30% that are actually growing or are in addition phase. And so we need to get to do something about it by knowing all these signs, because your church might be gathering in a constant number and you don't know that there's a signs of decline already. So they are relatively few reproducing churches. And so for your church to be able to grow fast and move fast, you need to get yourself to be reproducing, get yourself to do evangelism and church plant. Small churches are at the severe risk of dying than larger churches, which lower risk of dying. Now, one of the things I will say quickly is this: it's harder to detect which category your church belongs because growth is not about a constant graph like that. It goes gray like this. No, there's a way growth moves, and if you don't understand how growth moves, you might not be able to get yourself to understand which phase your church is, And so for me, your church can be growing and declining, and the net growth is actually a decline phase. So it's harder to know which category your church is, whether it is in the subtraction mode phase, or is in the subtraction mode phase, is in the plateauing mode phase, or is in the addition or growing phase, or in the producing phase, or in the multiplying phase. We need to be able to box yourself into one category. It's very dicey because your church can be growing in a season, but it's actually declining in a larger season. Okay, so it's harder to detect, and you need to be able to talk to a church consultant so that there are a lot of variables to look at, a lot of data to look at, a lot of questions to ask, that a church consultant will be able to ask those questions, and getting those answers will know actually which category you are. I've seen churches, because their attendance is growing maybe in a couple of 10 weeks, and they say their church is growing, but actually your church is actually declining. So it's harder to detect which category, whether you are a multiplying church, or you are a reproducing church, or you are a growing church, or you are addition church, or you are a plateauing church, or you are a subtracting church. You need to be able to know where you are, and then you'll be able to need to find ways and strategies to get yourself to move from where you find yourself as a category. Okay, it's also hard to detect most signals with larger churches than smaller churches. When a larger church has declined by 50%, it's different when a smaller church has decreased by 50%. So in a larger church, it's difficult to actually detect some signals because there's a lot of data. There are more data to analyze in a larger size church than in a small size church. So when your church is large, you need to also begin to focus on those things that are not predominant. Unlike a smaller church, once 50% of the attendants are not there, you can easily know. You don't need to run a spreadsheet to be able to detect that. But when your church is large, 1,000, 2,000, you need to put your eyes on so many things so that you'll be able to detect a signal before that signal becomes a trend. Okay, so we also looked at the three areas last Monday, okay, in terms of those signs to detect, and I'm going to just talk more on examples today. So for every life cycle stage, any church, whether you are in any of those 5 categories I mentioned, there are uneasy signs to detect. Whether you're a small size church, whether you are a mid-sized church, whether you are a large size church, the way you will interpret those metrics or data and the dashboard are different. They are different. And so we need to be able to know that there are uneasy signs to detect that will be helpful to leading that church no matter the size of the church. Okay, the growth of a child is so peculiar because what you look for when a child is in 2 months is different from when the child is 12 years old, is different from when the child is 24, it's also different from when the person is already 75. So, and those metrics also have different indicators. Okay, high blood sugar in all those phases of growth of a child are different. Okay, and so periodical checking to see incremental changes is very, very important. And so when you see those incremental changes, it tells you to give you some signs that you should detect and use that in as an informed data to get yourself an informed decision that will move your church from where it is right now to where it should be in God. And so last Monday, I'm just going to wrap up on the things we shared. Well, okay, how to increase the efficiency and the effectiveness of what is working to improve on it from time to time. So from time to time, the fact that you have systems in your church does not mean that those systems will automatically always work. Okay, and those systems must be checked from time to time to know whether they are increasing in efficiency or effectiveness, or to know what working levels to improve them from time to time. Okay, in terms of, let's say, communication. Okay, as the church is growing, the way you are communicating needs to improve. Just like evangelism, the way you are evangelizing needs to be worked on to increase the effectiveness, to increase the efficiency. Even the reading of the Bible of your congregation, what strategy can you put in place to make sure that your congregation are actually reading the Bible regularly? Because one thing is not about reading the Bible, it's about reading the Bible regularly from time to time. It's also prayer, okay, discipleship pathways, that system. How can you begin to fine-tune, increase the efficiency, increase the effectiveness to make sure that the church discipleship process, our pathway, are being improved over time? We talked about that. Then the rate of contacting and connecting new persons or guests as compared to old ones. You see, once somebody is already assimilated, you see, it's difficult to be able to begin to track that person's assimilation progress. Somebody has been in your church for 7 years. Probably you have done a good job to make the person established, but then you need to find out a system to be able to track such assimilation progress, because assimilation does not end for anyone in the church. The fact that you have assimilated X, Y, and Z into your church, it's a continuous process. So the rate of contacting and connecting with new people as compared with the old ones, so that you'll be able to ensure that you have high retention rate. I'm going to talk more on how to calculate your retention rate next week, Monday. But for now, one of the things is that most churches find it very difficult to calculate their retention rate. And because you don't know your retention rate, it's also very difficult to know if your church is actually declining. One of the things that is very difficult to detect is also the decline in the retention rate of your church. Okay, you have retention rate maybe week in, week out, or month in, month out, or year in, year out. Let's take it for year in, year out. If in a year, or year A, you have your retention rate is, let's say, 60%. And year B, it drops to 40%. And year C, it went to 70%. Year D, it went to 20%. Now, the truth about it is that there's a decline in the retention rate. And that decline in retention rate is not as easy to detect in your church. And so we also looked at the last point last Monday, spotting a good opportunity real time. God will always bring opportunities your way, but your dashboard must be so clear to take advantage of such opportunities. And so that opportunity sometimes might be on an easy church signs to detect. Every church, large size church, mid-sized church, small size church, they have a great opportunity at times in real time to be able to take advantage of those things to move the church forward. So most leaders make wrong and late decisions, resulting to many things like conflict, loss of growth momentum from the dashboard. Okay, how do you balance being led by the Spirit and what the dashboard is telling you? So ineffective decision making tree from not having those vital signs, okay, those metrics, those church signs, indicators might find a way of getting you to taking your church to a wrong destination. So the way you make decisions should not be the same, because your eyes should be open to those salient, uneasy signs that your church has, but you have to pay close attention to them. So what are the examples? I'm going to quickly. The output of certain departments like evangelism and discipleship must be looked at critically. How is your evangelism functioning? To what capacity? To what efficiency? To what effectiveness is your evangelism and discipleship functioning in your church? Then you have to look at increasing and working on the frequency of attendance. Get my book on church retention. I made that clear that one of the things that is a cause of decline in our churches is infrequency of attendance, or attendance in frequency decline. Okay, get my book, you're going to get that. Sam Rayner have made fantastic points with those frequency of attendance. And how do you do that? Each frequency category should have its own process. So somebody who is coming just one Sunday in a month, there should be a process to be able to get that person to increase one Sunday more. Somebody who is in the second in 2 Sunday category in a month, there should be a process for that. 3 Sunday category in a month, there should be a different process for that. 4 category in a month, there should be a different process for that. And so we need to find out how to work on the frequency of attendance, because the more people frequent your church, the more your discipleship will be better, and the more your people will be healthier. Okay, how to improve everyone who attends your church to attend one more Sunday more. And you see, once you do that, I can tell you that there's a form of growth that will take place in your church. So find out those who have not established over time, who are also attending your church, having a culture or a habit of attending church regularly. And so find out also those who are living. I mean, that's another thing. It's also hard to detect the backdoor rate. I'm going to dwell more on this subsequent Monday. Those who are leaving the church through the back door. So what's the connection and the commitment levels of your congregation? That's another uneasy sign to detect. How do you know that my congregation is connecting with the leadership? To what extent and capacity is the congregation connected? Or what are the commitment levels? Okay, commitment are in levels. And so how do you know collectively that you are getting the best of the human resource that God has blessed your church with? What is working is never going to work all the time or forever. That is a bitter truth. Something is working today does not mean it's going to work tomorrow, or does not mean it's going to work forever. Yes, I know that they say what is working don't affect it, but your job as a leader is to know where to improve so that workings of your systems is actually getting to deliver the result in the future, not just now. The things that system need to deliver. Okay, so whatever is working in your church is seasonal. Whatever is working in your church is not constant. Whatever is working in your church is for a phase. And so when it's working for that phase, you need to begin to start to be proactive to know what you need to inject to make sure that this is also going to work in the next phase. Okay, the fact that that thing is working in today's phase does not mean it's going to work in the next phase or the subsequent phase. So ideas and concepts are time bound, and we need to start thinking of time bound and contextualization, okay, and globalization and things like that to make sure that what is working is actually increasing its efficiency and effectiveness. Then how much of your volunteers do we have that are powering your services? You are powering your day-to-day ministry workload, because the truth about it is that it's very difficult to be able to know the volume of volunteers or workforce that are powering your services. You need to know that is either increasing or is decreasing. How much of volunteers do you have that are unavailable, also giving their best? You can have numbers of volunteers who are serving your church, but all of them are not throwing their all or bringing their best on the table. How do you know that the volunteers, you have 70 workers who are powering your service, you have 700 workers who are powering your service, but the thing is, what are they bringing all their best on the table? What is their commitment level? What is what is the expertise and the competencies and the knowledge base they are bringing on the table? And so we need to make sure that we work on those uneasy signs or easy church signs to detect in a church. I've said so much. If you've not been able to catch up, I want you to watch this again. There's so many things. I know a lot of people pick my brain. That's fine. But there's so much to glean from these Jews this morning. I want to stop here so that I'll be able to do some promos. Okay, so we've talked about 12 uneasy signs to detect in a declining church. So please feel free if you want to become a certified church consultant. I mean that it's even at your pace. So if you are very busy as a pastor, you have some years of experience, you want to be a church consultant, you want to learn things to help your church, to help revitalize your church, and then also you want to help other churches to have some form of side income gig for yourself, that would be very, very good for you to hook up with me, and let me give you all the details that you need for that moment. Okay, feel free to get my book on church retention, Pathway to Growth. Very seasoned, hot topic, hot book. It's very, 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 very valuable. I can tell you that book will change your life and your church around. So if this video has been helpful to you, you have any church related question, please feel free to hook up with us on any of the social media handles. You have any church related question or inquiries, let us have them through any of the social media handles I've been showing on the screen. You're sure going to get more than an answer from me. And then please give this video a thumbs up. Give this video a share to your community. Drop us a comment you've learned from me. Please feel free. Let me learn from you. What are the signs that are uneasy for you to detect? Let's help you out to detect those signs so that your church can become healthier, your church can become better, and your church can begin to fulfill the purpose why God created it. So please go on the comment section and let me hear from you. We also do what we call church consultation, revitalization, and then we also do trainings. We also do strategic planning. Please reach out to us. We'll be glad to also come to your church to help your church move your church from where it is right now to where it should be in God. So please feel free to also go on our social media. There are quite a lot of resources there to be able to get you to where you need to be. Please, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, please feel free to get some of those. And if you don't see any fantastic resource, please reach out to me. I'm going to give you something free of charge from my own end. Till I come your way next week Monday with the continuation and the final lap of 12 uneasy signs to detect in a declining church. I say bye bye. God bless you. I love you, and I'm praying for you. Thank you.